All right, my wonderful marimba people. So, we are now adding our final line to your composition. By the way, if you want to add more parts, if you want to add a baritone or a tenor part or something like that, you are very welcome to. Like, just go for it. I just didn't want to require any more of you than these lines because it's kind of the more lines you add, the harder it is to make it sound good. So I'm going to show you some common ways to write a bass line. And this is, I think, the hardest one because there's not like a perfect way to do it. Honestly, this is going to sound bad, but sometimes I just like fiddle around until I write something I like with our bass line. So I'm going to show you the first rhythm that's probably the most standard. You're going to have that dotted quarter note with a regular quarter note. So I'll just write something really fast like this. Da, da, da. Ooh, that sounds so scary. Let's make that go up. Why does it always do that? All right, I'm gonna just copy that line, which maybe is not gonna sound the prettiest, but then here I'll do just a half note. Whoa, look at that cool thing. Let's get rid of it. I don't want to look at that. All right, so I did a really standard da, 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 da. So it's kind of going to have that bass line that basically almost all of you guys have played while playing a bass, that long, long, short bass line. So now let's hear what it sounds like. Let's see. I know it's kind of hard to hear, but it actually, honestly, that bass line totally works. So I kind of, once again, just chose the notes based off of the notes that were already up here. There is like a whole music theory reason behind it, but you guys really don't need to know that unless you really just want to be overachievers. But the big thing I did was notice I don't have a ton of bass parts other than right here. The notes are kind of skipping around a lot. Da, 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 da. And I did that on purpose. It's just a weird thing about bass lines. If you have all the notes be really close together, I mean, it can work just fine, but oftentimes I feel like it doesn't work very well. Whereas I feel like on other lines, you do want to keep the notes kind of close together to make it easier. All right, so that's one way you can make a bass line. The next way you can make a bass line is by, whoa, don't do that, doing a walking bass. So your walking bass line could sound, typically that's going to be all quarter notes. So this might be an easier one for you guys. I feel like the first one I showed you is the easiest, but this wouldn't be too bad either. You're going to just walk your bass around. This is what Caleb and Danae do in Texas Tea during that like spot where it's all crazy and there's all these lead lines in the second part. So you can go all the way up to that D. That's the highest note in the marimba. Whoa. Ugh, so annoying. Why does it keep doing that one instead of going up? Okay. This measure just loves to come back. It's like, please, Mrs. Meredith, let me be a real measure. Nope. I don't like you. All right, so here's what a walking bass is going to sound like with all these quarter notes. It doesn't sound bad at all. It's like a very safe bass line. Nothing to like brag about, but nothing shy. All right, the next thing you can kind of do is just make like a really different bass line. And I'm purposely, even though these are all fine bass lines, I feel like sometimes I struggle to write interesting bass lines often. Just because, I don't know. I have a lot more fun writing the other lines. And then I feel bad because I feel like our bass players are just always playing walking basses or that other rhythm. So I'm going to try to challenge myself with this one and do something different. Da 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 da. And so I'm going to take... Maybe I'm gonna try to mash up both of them a little bit. So I'll have that walking line. Let's see. Bum, bum, ba-da. Then we're gonna throw in something weird. Da. Let's see what that sounds like. Ooh, I kind of like that. Now I'm going to try to make it jump a little bit because I feel like people always like bass players when it looks like especially the little kids, where the little kids' arms have to like jump up and down like super far off the marimba. I feel like that's just like adorable. And so yes, I'm literally choosing to write this bass line based off of, is it going to be adorable or not? Da, da. Whoa, I forgot I was playing bass for a second. Da, da. Like I said, sometimes I kind of guess on these notes and just see if they sound good. Ooh, no, 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 no. That is a case of guessing incorrectly, my friends. Ooh, okay. I'm grooving on this one. Let's turn that. Once again, like I've done over and over and over again for like this entire compositional process, I am going to keep the first and third measure the same because it just makes life easier. Not just for like me writing it right now, but it's going to make it easier to teach to fifth graders and they're going to learn it faster. And we really don't have a lot of time in the school year when we get back for the Patriot players to learn a lot of music. So if I can keep it simple, that's going to be better. All right, now the final measure. As you can see, I've kind of changed the final measure of the rhythm line compared to what the rhythm was for the first three measures. These are the exact same rhythm, but this one I changed a bit because I want it to sound like it's final. And once again, I know I'm going to have to end on C, so I'm just going to write that big whomping C down, and then I can delete this measure that I despise. All right. Now, this is a case where I do feel like you can maybe add a little bit of a crazy pants bass part because I feel like this is not that interesting. Let's see. Da. Okay, that might, once again, that was a guess. It might sound terrible. It's not bad. It sounds good. I don't know. It's a little plain to me, but I'm going to leave it for now. So those are some different rhythms and ways you can write your bass line. I obviously ended up choosing the hardest way of doing it. And there are, once again, just like with our rhythm line, other options. Because kind of the rule of composition is don't break the rules unless it sounds good. And then you can basically break whatever rules you want. You're also welcome to add more lines to this. We're going to be kind of finishing up and cleaning these compositions next week. So your goal is really to have these 3 lines, something that you're proud of. So have fun composing.